This is a test, it's only a test. I'm trying to get my audio better, so this is a test. Can you tell I'm not a singer? I think that everybody can tell I'm not a singer. Everybody except Mark, because he has some kind of hearing disorder where things that are bad sound good. It's Lauren and Cameron, and I am 95% sure that I have my audio fixed. Oh my gosh. Seriously, you guys, I talk so much that editing is the biggest deal with these videos. If you think they're long, they could be longer. Lauren arrives first. She is the same mix of, what would the words be? Anticipation and excitement. And I think she says herself she's a little bit terrified, understandably. This is a big deal. This is a big deal for couples who met in a traditional way and have dated for a year or two. I love Lauren's mama. She is so sweet. I love her. And she just feels happy. Like so happy. Do you guys get that from her? I do. Anyway, so Pam is there and Lauren's like, I just can't believe we're going from a couple of weeks ago where, like, you know, I was single and now I'm looking at getting married. And to be honest, like, she started to tear up and Pam is like, don't cry. Now Pam has told us in her one-on-one that she is not 100% convinced because she's only seen them together for a couple of hours. How can she be convinced, right? But I have to say, for a mama who's not 100% convinced and not 100% in, she does a great job of just uplifting Lauren in this moment. Lauren is starting to tear up and Pam's like, don't cry, you're okay. And you know, I think that she's just doing the best. She is trusting her daughter and supporting her daughter in this. And I think it is beautiful. I think that as parents, the struggle is always to separate ourselves from our children in a way that allows us to let them have that individuality and to trust them to make their life decisions and to really support them even if it's not something we understand, right? So I love seeing her do this. We get a montage of moments, you know, as Lauren is expressing her terror and her like not being 110% sure. We get a montage of moments of the beautiful moments of Mexico and the relationship where Cameron is again and again shown to be just a supportive person who's so in love. And there's some moments there with Lauren giving him lots of love. So it's really one of the sweet highlights, the most sweet highlights that we've gotten. And that's because Netflix is going to give us another package of highlights in just a minute, right? So then we cut to Cameron. He is with his friend Snake Bites. No, his friend's name is Corey, I think. But he's got those snake bites. And you know, they're talking and Cameron's basically saying like he was fine until today. And his friend is like, what are you worried about? Dude, I don't know. If this is real conversation, then like pity the fools. Because if you remember, Mark's friend was like, what are you hoping for? Well, I'm hoping for an I do. Duh. The same thing here. What are you worried about? Well, I'm worried she might not say yes. That's a given, right? Like, hello. And of course, as he expresses this concern, we get the opposite montage of all the times that Lauren has kind of gone like, I'm not sure. Like, I think they mentioned that he's the first white man she's dated. They show the clip with her wanting to keep her place or talking about possibly keeping her place. And like how the wedding is becoming more real and she's anxious. Those things are highlighted in her montage. So that's where we're at. Obviously Cameron is now like, I'm not 100% sure she's going to say yes, but I think she's ready. And here's where I'm going to say this. And I think I mentioned this in my last video about them. If she doesn't say yes, spoiler, we already know, right? But if she wouldn't have said yes, I think that this would have been a couple that stays together and dates. I don't think her no would have been like, no, we have like insurmountable differences or challenges. I think she would have been more somebody who was like, this is crazy. Let's do this in a year. You know what I mean? So just Just putting it out there. But I also think that Lauren wouldn't have gone this far. I don't think she would have bought a dress. I don't think she would have stood at the altar if she wasn't going to say yes, or if she didn't think she was at least going to say yes. Now, obviously, last minute, you can go, what am I doing? I need to wake up from this dream and have a change of heart. But nobody anticipates that happening, right? We meet Cameron's mom. And I have to say this. He expresses that she's having the hardest time with this, and that, you know, she's not 100%, I guess. And she's like, "Are you sure? Is this what you want to do?" And he is like, "Yeah, you know, I hope she hasn't changed her mind." And his mom says, "This is a crazy situation, and it would not be a shame. Like, I know you'd be devastated, but it wouldn't be a shameful thing if she did say no." And I don't think that that comes from a place of wanting her to say no, or even being angry at the situation. I just think that that's a mom being completely honest, right? And so, again, as parents, you struggle to like balance being supportive with also being a realist, because you don't want your kid just to like crashing down to earth from a dream and be just totally broken. You're trying to break that fall a little bit, and you can kind of see her doing that. And he says, like, you know, it's crazy, and I'm taking a leap of faith. And she says, you know what? Even in a normal situation, this would be a leap of faith. And I'm like, amen. I love that she is able to say that to him without it sounding like, don't do this, don't do this. I just am loving. I think that you can see that these two people have good supportive families just by how well adjusted they were in the pods and how great they've been through the whole thing. So I'm excited, and I'm going to try not to cry in this video. So then we get a scene where Pam, Lauren's mom, and the girls and Lauren all look so beautiful, and they come together for prayer. I cannot even, I'm so like overwhelmed with it. And she starts by saying, this is a beautiful day, or something like that. And then she prays for all of their lives, and she prays for Cameron. And I have goosebumps, guys, and I'm so overwhelmingly like touched by this moment. I love Lauren's mom. I think that I also love Cameron's mom. She just, you know, she says it right towards the end of their scene, right before this, like, I just don't want your heart broken. And so you can see that, like, her reservation isn't about Lauren. It's about the craziness of this situation and the fact that her child is about to go tell somebody that he loves them and that he wants them as his wife, and she's not sure that Lauren's going to say yes. But they are doing such a good job of just being very grounded and very honest, and I am so in love with it. I am crying right now, days later, talking to you guys about it. Lauren's dad comes, and he is in tears over how much, like, is going on. He is so proud. He says he's a little bit scared. And he talks about, like, how, you know, like, you love your kids, and then it's time to, like, let them go into the world. And Lauren says, you're not losing me. But he's like, yeah, but you're going to be this man's wife. Like, it's a different situation, right? I am so, so joyful that they were able, especially Mr. Bill was able to, like, let go and really be here for his daughter. She expresses how close they've been. I think that this might hit me a little bit harder because as a gay person, I was not able to get married in my home state. I actually went out of state to get married, and the only family member that we had there was my sister. And I don't even know if, I think now if I invited my family, they would come, but I don't know that my dad would have given me away. I just don't know. So I think seeing him be able to put his reservations and his concerns on the side and being able to, like, be so happy and so there with so much love makes me overwhelmingly, like, emotional, obviously, but really happy for them. Cameron cries as she walks down the aisle. Of course he did. He cried in the pods as they were getting to know each other. This is why we love Cameron so much. Lauren looks beyond stunning. The whole thing is beautiful, and by far this wedding seems to be the most put together wedding, as far as like flowers, dresses, people. It really does seem like this is the most put together wedding. They get up there, they exchange vows, and of course they both say they do. Oh my god, right? So now they're married, and we get to go to their reception, and the families are gelling what looks like beautifully. There is so much love in this room. The parents are dancing. Dad cried during the ceremony, and he looks so exuberant during the reception. It's all so beautiful. It's what you want for yourself, for your friends, for your family on their wedding day. It is amazing. It is amazing. And I am so excited. I'm so glad that we got to be here with them. After this aired, obviously, Entertainment Weekly put out some interviews on YouTube. The Lauren and Cameron interview kind of focused on, like, they asked them, what do you wish we would have seen more of, or how do you feel about the edits? And Lauren was very honest in saying that she felt like a lot of their conversations, their fun, happy, silly conversations got cut for the more serious. And she was like, look, we didn't always talk about the fact that he was white and I was black. We didn't always focus on those things. They did come up, obviously. Yeah, they should come up. That's a very real conversation. They did come up, but not anywhere like as disproportionately as it was shown. So a whole lot of people have been in my comments and said, like, I wish they didn't talk about it all the time. Apparently they didn't. This is edits. And, I feel like it's funny because with these two, they didn't get as much of the public going, well, it is edited, as the other people did. The people who made a complete mess out of themselves have people standing around trying desperately to explain that it's all editing. But for Lauren and Cameron, they didn't get that same break from a lot of what I've read. But Lauren did feel like it was a lot of edits, and that makes sense. You do see a little bit of Cameron's sense of humor. I loved it when he kind of poked fun at her when they were talking about pet peeves, and you didn't see a whole lot of that in Cameron at all, and it makes sense that that existed because Lauren does seem like a fun, happy, laughter, centric person, so you would think that her partner is going to be like that as well. So that was one. The second thing was they asked Lauren about, well, Lauren and Cameron, but Lauren responded about Doggate, drinking wine out of the same cup. Remember, I was like, oh my God, what is she going to say? And I actually already covered this in the Jessica and Mark video, but in case you weren't there, Lauren was basically like, it is burned in my brain. I'm not going to comment on whether it's a good or a bad thing, but it is something I will never unsee. Same for all of us, same, right? And then they asked, like, did E pay for the weddings? I think they asked Lauren this. I'm not, you know what? I've watched so many of these, and they asked the same questions. I believe it was Lauren, or it was possibly Amber, but I believe it was Lauren, who explained that they paid for, Netflix paid for the wedding, but you got to, like, pick out your dress, pick out your colors, pick out your flowers, and everything else, which is interesting. That means that this wedding that we see for Lauren and Cameron is a wedding that has been put together by Lauren and Cameron. Like, they have picked things out, or, arguably maybe just Lauren, whatever. But I thought it was interesting because she was the person who seemed the most removed from having her ideal wedding in her mind. She kind of seemed like, I am in disbelief that this is even happening. I can't even function, you know what I mean? Like, whoa. But then at the same time, she pulled out probably, in my opinion, the prettiest wedding. So let's get kind of shady a little bit, right? We're going to read into a couple of things. There is an interview out, I believe today, it's the 3rd of March, And I think that it said BuzzFeed News right up here, but it's Lauren and Cameron, and they're talking to the host. And he asked, obviously, all the normal questions, but one of the shadier questions, in my opinion, and Lauren handles it with absolute grace, but he says, you guys have from the beginning been America's like favorite couple. Why do you think that is? And Lauren says, I think that people could see our authentic selves. I wasn't there trying to be a character or, play a part. If I'm trying to find a husband, then I'm trying to be myself so that we can fall in love. And I'm like, ooh. This brings me to the next point I'm going to make, and that is that I think that the Amber you see is the Amber you get. I do not think Amber is BSing or pretending. And I think that that was the same for Lauren. Now, Lauren's a lot more together. She seems to present herself a lot better. But still, they're both very authentic human beings. Can't be said for everybody. Oh my God. And also, I'm so curious. Like, I just want to know, like, what do you think? What do you think the odds are that Jessica is going to use the voice on the reunion? Or do you think that by now she's figured out that people know the voice is BS and they are not having it? I'm so curious. I don't know if she could stop herself. I don't know. Cameron says that he still keeps in touch with Mark and Damien, and this makes me interested. I was already thinking that Damien might have gotten a little bit of a bad rep from me because I saw a touch of an interview, and I'm going to talk about that in their video. I want to be fair, obviously, so I am going to do some more research and touch on that. But you know what? Let me just tell you, if Cameron keeps in touch with you and gets together with you, I'm already giving you more points. So I will go in with an open mind, aware that Cameron approves, and we shall see. We shall see.